10.
It's 10.
It's
Yeah.
10.
It is 10?
I promise you it's 10.
It's 10.
Well, what I was going to say is we
12.
should probably stop saying that because we're always like, man, I can't believe we made it this far.
Yeah.
So can't believe we will make it to 1,000 episodes. That's our
That's the
next
goal.
thing.
That's almost 20 years. That'd be awesome.
That's
I love how
quick
you
math.
knew the math on
Yeah.
I'm not a math.
None of us are going to check that. But.
Could have just said anything
Get a
there.
lower table.
All right. Matt, would you mind starting us off in prayer, and then we'll jump in?
Lord, thank you for a great day. Thank you for allowing the four of us to get together each week and talk about our passion for you and our passion for the outdoors. Hopefully, we will be able to impact others and bring them to you, or bring them to the outdoors, or through the outdoors come to you. Thank you for the amazing sunrises that you've been providing recently. It's been pretty cool. I get to see that on my way to work each morning. And hopefully you will allow us to keep doing this. And I think that's it. Provision, protection, favor, and health to all watching and all of our families. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Before I jump into the things that I wanted to talk about, for those of you at church on Sunday, I kind of have we'll bring this up with Kurt next week. They're talking about folks to the area and what do we do in North Dakota? And I kind of want to be like, well, we have some of the best hunting and fishing, at least in my opinion, in maybe the nation. I'll throw it out there. So if you can't find something to do, go hunting and fishing. You know, like right now, predator hunting is got to be some of the best there is, and at least in the state. And I know the areas that we hunt, the coyotes are unbelievable down there. So, anyways,
Can I jump in and ask you why the predator hunting is so good right now?
I'm assuming.
He doesn't
He does
know.
not know.
Well, I suppose the snow isn't a lot of snow. The fur would be good.
It is
I mean,
winter.
that's true.
It's winter.
Yeah.
Females.
It's
Well,
also-
to my knowledge, it is. It's essentially the rut for coyotes right now. It's
Really?
their breeding season.
Because I just straight guessed. I had no knowledge of.
Yeah.
A good answer would have been like,
I wouldn't have called you out like that if I.
a good answer would have been like
So
the
that was
warm
my
weather just
fault.
to throw out there, maybe.
But yeah, no, I mean, they're that's kind of the thing. Is usually people call for them, and a lot of times it's like distress calls for prey animals. And
Yeah.
right now, you can be successful using coyote sounds,
Challenge owls and stuff.
challenge howls, and
No kidding.
female
Yep.
sounds for So anyway, just to interject, that's what's going on in the coyote world.
Fur on females will be good, but about now, fur on males, they're going to be rubbed on their back, on their shoulders. So, yeah, they won't be quite as good because they won't have the guard hairs.
So that's because they're like rubbing to mark their territory, or why are they all rubbed up?
The back, it's usually just right on their shoulders.
I would think it'd be the other way around.
Yeah, that's what I would have thought too.
Like when a mommy coyote and a daddy coyote, is.
Yeah, I think we were picking that one up.
Explain.
That's about
All right, we're getting
So,
as Kurt would say, I'm going to get to my sermon here pretty soon.
we got a sermon.
Oh, we
here.
haven't
Yeah.
even. Yeah, you got to do that like 5 or 6 more times.
So, the outdoors. There's a lot of cross country skiing, camping. I personally like to camp because it brings all the things together. You get to camp outside. You get to tote something across the ice, which I guess is kind of like skiing. And like Matt said, the sunrises on a big flat lake is phenomenal. Now when it's blowing 20 miles an hour and it's 10 below, it's not super comfortable, but it's gorgeous out there, and you usually have the place to yourself. So enjoy the outdoors. Is
You're
all I'm
kind of
trying to say.
glamping now, though, aren't you?
I have no generator. I don't know what you mean by that.
You don't know what glamping is.
I know what glamping is, but why
Okay.
would I be glamping?
Well, I will say
Because
he
you
doesn't
got
have
a
a castle.
floor
so-
and you've got
Uh,
a like suite.
Well, he doesn't have a castle, so like
yeah. Not even
my
close.
definition of glamping on the ice would be a castle.
Mhm.
That'd be like my line. I mean, he's close. He's flirting with it, but he's not over it yet.
Anytime you have a generator, I think that's glamping because if you,
And a floor.
yeah,
You're really on
I
this
hold
floor.
that floor.
And a floor.
Sorry.
Okay,
Would you get on?
I'm getting onto it. I'm getting onto it. So we'll start off. We'll start off with a story. And this young man to my right was in the story with me. So I don't know if you remember this. We were
Get it started. I'll figure it out.
wrapping up the last thing we did with processing our deer this year was making jerky, which that's going to be the first thing I do from now on, by the way. But anyways, we did 37 pounds of jerky this year.
Nice.
Because that's kids like it a lot. And anyways, so we were had it just that perfect temperature, got it all sliced up. But I don't know, kind of we experienced this at your guys' place. When you thaw out that much meat, there's always blood, right? We had it sitting in the bottom of a tote, and there was a quart of blood in the bottom of this thing. So I needed to get rid of it, and for some reason decided to take it outside. And it was one of those real cold days in January. I think we had just gotten a little bit of snow, so it was.
It wasn't January.
Yeah, it was.
It was. No, it wasn't. The Packers were still playing, and they didn't make it that far.
Oh, why do you got to bring that
Ooh.
up?
It was December.
Oh, Gentry. Okay, fine.
Keep
was
it going.
December. Jeez, you just wrecked
keep
my
it
day.
going.
Anyways, yeah. I don't want to hear nothing.
Brush
from you
past.
two.
Brush past.
We
It
got
could
some
happen
Patriots
next
fans
week
over
and
here.
We'd still
Yeah.
be playing, by the way.
Yep.
Just saying.
All right. So we go outside in December, and it's cold. We just got some snow, and for some reason I decided to dump the snow or dump the blood in the snow. And I think you guys have all seen that. If you shoot an animal or you process it and there's snow, what that blood does to the snow, and it just like boom. And immediately there's this crimson stain, right? And it got me thinking of the significance of that the stain on that snow was, right? And Kurt talked about it this weekend, and it's been coming up a lot lately. Psalm 51 has been jumping out a lot to me lately, and it's super powerful. And if you're not familiar with it, it's the psalm where David is confronted by I think it's the prophet Isaiah, Nathan, when from his sin when he committed adultery with Bathsheba and then made it worse. Bathsheba was married, so he organized it so that his husband was killed, and then went and kind of went about his life and thinking he kind of got away with it, and Nathan came to him and told the story of this rich man that had this huge flock, and he he needed a sheep to sacrifice. He was going to throw a party, and instead of using sheep from his flock, he took this other poor man's sheep, and it was the only one he had. It was unblemished. Took it, and David got pissed. He was like, "Tell me who this is. I want his head. Who is this guy?" And he was like, "That was you. You did that, right?" And he would just cut him to the core. And he wrote the psalm, and if I could almost read the whole thing because it literally is poetry. But in verse 7, it says, "Purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow. Make me hear joy and gladness, that the bones that you have broken may rejoice. Hide your face from my sins, and blot out all my iniquities. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a steadfast spirit within me. Do not cast me away from your presence, and do not take your Holy Spirit from me." And again, I could read the whole thing, but those just, obviously really jumped out at me in that moment with Gentry and I, where we were, and I don't know if you remember that.
I remember it very clearly. You dumped it right in front of the garbage can, so if you looked at it the right way, It looked like something was leaking blood from our garbage.
Yeah, and it was a big pool of blood. So he goes and he kicks snow over it, and immediately it's gone, right? And what that and the symbolism in that moment is those things that we do, those big sins in your life that you're just like, man, that's I don't deserve forgiveness for this, right? But that's what we get through Jesus and what that means to us. Not that we walk in that, and later in this, now that we just abuse that grace, and later in this Psalm, verse 17 really jumps out to me too. It's the sacrifices of God are a broken spirit, a broken and a contrite heart. These, O God, you will not despise. And David here was saying, like, and before this he had said, you don't desire burnt offerings and sacrifice of bulls, right? You need my heart. You care about my heart and what that means, and that when we do screw up, we come to him with that broken heart and apologetic, coming to him. So anyways, in that moment, it was, I hope that when, I see that blood trail or I'm, cleaning a fish or getting dirty, that it's, that I'm reminded of what, the sacrifices that were made. And maybe, I don't know if we're allowed to do this, but, since it's Reyer, since it's your mom, we'll let her entitle this episode. When we were talking about this on Sunday, what did you remember what Pam called that?
No, I can't
She
remember.
Thank goodness someone wrote it down.
So we were, yeah, and I hope I got this right. Maybe I'll have to ask her. But when you're processing an animal, right, it's messy, but it's not gross, right? And how many things in life are like that when you,
Messy, not dirty.
Messy, not dirty. That's what it was. Yes.
Depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
I agree, for the record. But.
I do kind of want to ask her what she thought after we made sausage at your guys' place, because that was awesome, but we made a mess.
Oh, that's nothing. That's 30 years.
That's
30
suppose.
plus years. Yeah.
So
that's just another day.
Yeah, and I appreciated that. That was a lot of fun. So, anyways, so the goal for today is to obviously, if you take anything from today, those times when you're out there and you're running into a successful hunt, right, and just acknowledge that sacrifice that Christ made for us. And so to that end, we've talked a lot about getting better in a hunt or in a fish, but then when you are successful, having a plan for that, what are you going to do? How do you prepare that fish or that animal? And it's my opinion that if you screw that part up, it doesn't matter how you cook it or what you do with it. If you spoil that flesh, whatever it is, it's not going to be good, right? So how do you all, from that point of whether it's field to the freezer, how do you prepare and manage that critter before you get there? So I do have some specific questions to ask you all, but
can we back up a little bit though?
Please do.
So messy, not dirty.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like our walk.
Amen.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it's tough at times, and yeah, it's messy, but we're not stained, with it, because we're forgiven. And so that's before we get into like, how do you handle the meat? It is messy,
mm-hmm.
right? I mean, if you're going to hunt or fish, you're going to get blood on you. And to me, blood is no different than, as far as getting blood on my hands or my clothes or anything like that. I don't even think about it. I mean, it may sound gross, but we'll butcher a deer, harvest a deer, get it back to the truck, jump in the truck and start eating meat sticks or something. We don't wash our hands.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably some of the cleanest messiness most of the time that you could
Mhm.
have on you. So yeah, I mean it was pretty cool when Pam said that, because it was, it's messy, it's not dirty.
Yeah.
Eat pizza while we're butchering chickens, you know.
Yeah, that's happened.
You got a chicken in one hand and a piece of pizza in the other, and you're
Yeah,
setting
not
it down
after,
and-
actively.
No,
both happening at the same time.
At the same time, right? You don't even
absolutely.
think about it, but it's gonna be messy,
Mm-hmm.
And so I think people just need to understand that, and it's okay. You can prepare yourself. You can have gloves. You can do all that. I mean, I know some people that don't want to gut a deer or handle it without gloves on. I never wear gloves.
It's logical, but it's just
I think it's
not
easier.
necessary.
Right.
I think it's
in my
easier to do
opinion.
it without gloves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially
I
when you're
feel-
skinning,
yeah.
grabbing hide and stuff. I would think that would. I've never done it with. To be honest with you, I've never done it with gloves at all. But to add on to your analogy, though, I like what you're saying. I wanted to say from my perspective, and like what I've learned, I would say that where you're getting at, I agree with, but the part about like us not being stained, I think that we are stained by sin until we are forgiven. But that's true, but that forgiveness it's not something that we just have in our back pocket. You know what I mean? Like we have to go seek that out. We have to repent.
You're right. Yes.
So, Jesus puts the money on the table, if you will. We have to go grab it. We have to repent. We have to go to him and seek that out. And it's like, that's one thing I struggled with growing up was like, what's the point of trying to be good and do all the right things if I'm just going to like automatically be forgiven,
Yep.
And, that was partially a maturity thing, but just growing up and, becoming a husband and a parent and all the different things is like, I've just been learning that, we do have a responsibility to go seek that out, and then we can be washed of that stain. So, and with the hunting thing, I mean, you can be up to your elbows in blood or guts or whatever, depending on what you're doing. And at the end of the day, you go wash it off.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time you're done at the sink or the shower or whatever, it's like, you would never know, you might have a little smell or something, but for the most part, I mean, I just think that that's kind of the same idea in the sense that, if you just put a little time in afterwards, after getting all messy, then you're clean again. Not that we're the ones doing it, but that's the idea.
Well, and I mean, you grew up with it, so you don't. I would assume you don't think about it like me.
No.
I mean, blood is that kind of stuff with animals, whether it's farm raised stuff that we raised or animals that we shot.
I think
don't
about
even
it.
Think about it. Does it bother you?
What, like blood on my hands or anything?
Yeah. Is
No.
it ever?
No.
I think about it more now that I have a wife who didn't grow up doing that stuff.
Oh.
Because she's very tolerant, so I appreciate that. But she also, does a good job of pointing it out if I need a shower or I still have blood in my fingernails or something like that.
You got meat boogers on
doesn't
your
get
arms.
past
And
her.
it's
Yeah,
like, ooh,
yeah, it happens.
I got to get rid of those.
Yeah, and even after those days of processing meat, sausage and all that kind of stuff, like you still just kind of have a smell.
Yeah.
It's like working in a restaurant. You come home and you flip burgers at McDonald's. You come home, you smell like a quarter pounder.
Yeah.
Like that's just the way it is. It
Are you
just
speaking
sticks
from
in your
experience?
skin.
Did you ever flip burgers?
Not quite. I've worked at a lot of places, but I've worked at a couple different restaurants, and it was like, yeah, you couldn't necessarily pick out the specific food, but it was like you just smelled like all
That
of
place.
the food,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
in that place. So yeah, you'd smell in your shirt, and eventually you just kind of, go nose blind to it. But
Well, your mom didn't grow up with it. In the beginning, it was a little tough.
Yeah.
But then it was just like, whatever. She doesn't even think about that now. So
Yeah.
she would not have a problem, with coming home to the mess.
Well, she must not have because, man, you did a great job cleaning up.
well,
but
when we had the farm too, there was times where we had a lot more of a mess than that.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of it was outside, because
Yeah.
we do a lot of butchering in the summer and stuff. But we did that on a smaller scale generally. but then it was also lambs and turkeys and chickens, and we
Hogs.
usually go somewhere else with pigs and beef, and
Mm-hmm.
so that was happening like it was like almost every couple of months, like all year long. So it was
And I think I've heard you tell this the you did that as a community. I don't know if you had family members, right? But you had people come over and they
Yeah.
they
Friends
helped
from
you out.
church.
Like that was
Yeah.
yeah. And that's that's kind of unfortunate that our society is losing that kind of stuff, because you don't have to go very far back. Like, sausage making, that was an event where the neighbors got
Mhm.
together, and everybody, the butchering, same thing. You do beef, you do chickens, right? And it's really too bad that that we're not that connected to our food anymore.
Yeah.
Right. It's just you go to the grocery store and buy some steaks, or you buy some ground beef instead of. No, I spent last weekend with my neighbors, processing this cow or whatever it might be. Right. That's, anyways.
that brings up another thing that I was kind of thinking about with this topic of messy not dirty, the snow, the blood in the snow and everything. And it's a little bit of a walk, but I'll try to get us there quick. So basically the thing that kind of jumped out to me about the significance of the blood and relating to hunting and all that was, in summary, like you shoot an animal or something like that, you go and you're following a blood trail. You know what I mean? So there's a path that's leading you to the goal, the pinnacle, the moment, the success, whatever word you want to put on it. And I think that it's similar in the sense that, like, Jesus's whole life, for the most part, was about the crucifixion.
Mm-hmm.
And he was bleeding that whole walk. You know what I mean? He got whipped in the beginning. He walked with the cross. He was falling. He was kneeling on stones and people throwing stuff at him. It was brutal. And, there was a trail, like there was a blood trail to that end, to that moment where that his purpose, the purpose of what he was doing, like the purpose of the hunt, that blood trail leads you to that end. And I think that there's a whole lot of things that goes into it, but getting back to the meat thing, I think that was, there's movies out there, The Passion of the Christ and stuff like that I think do a pretty good job, at least as far as we can tell, about depicting that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you watch that movie or you read about it, and it was gruesome. You know, it was horrible.
No other word.
It was brutal, and there's no other way to put it. And I think that nature is the same way.
Yeah.
In the sense that, not that animals dying every day in nature has nearly as much significance, but in general, like, it's brutal, it's nasty. There's a lot of, you see the trail camera pictures of deer with their sides torn off by coyotes and all that kind of stuff. And I think that in the same way that we can go to a store and get meat from a package, like you're saying, it kind of takes you out of it. It can desensitize us, especially if it's something you do long term. Like, it desensitizes you to the reality of nature. You know what I mean? Like, you have to kill in order to get that food.
Yep.
Somebody has to do that. And not only us, but also that's happening constantly in the cycle of life between predators and prey in the wild, and storms are killing animals, fires, everything. Like, there's animals dying every day, and it's brutal and it's gruesome. And I think the same thing can happen with our faith sometimes, is like, if we forget about how brutal the pain was that Christ went through his passion, like, I mean, it desensitizes us. It takes us away from the importance of what he did, So, I mean, I think that in the same way, like, digging into that in your faith it's important to recognize that cruelty that was, done that day. Not to say that we're cruel with animals, but it's also important to recognize how brutal, nature is, and we are taking a life when we're hunting, and, there is something that there's pain in that, it's not, like you always say, it's not the climax of the hunt is not, the killing, it's usually that anticipation and all that leading up to it, but you still got to recognize what you're doing. So
that's great stuff. And anything else on because that's why we're doing this, guys. It's in my opinion, it's not necessarily about. I mean, it is about making sure sharing our knowledge of the outdoors, but there's a realness there that appreciating what we've been given and afforded in grace is a big deal. So, anything else?
I got some scripture that I want to bring up, but I can do it later. Doesn't have to be right now. Mix it up a little bit.
All right, okay. We'll go in.
I've been talking long enough.
All right.
We get complimented on how we weave it.
We weave it. All right.
You get compliments?
Hmm?
Oh.
Not
I haven't
you.
been complimented.
Yeah, not you.
You have not.
Wow.
Like,
Dang.
for example, Matt and his shirt over here missing that button right now. I'm impressed. You're doing well played.
This side of the room is getting compliments.
All right.
All right.
So I missed this one, so I'm kind of I'm trying to live vicariously through you guys of the episode where we had some arguments. So how about this one? Bleeding a fish versus keeping it alive, or we're ice fishing right now, or you kind of walk by some folks and just drop it on the ice and you got a bunch of fish sickles there. What's your guys' preference when you're taking a fish?
Depends on the kind of fish.
Pike.
That's a bad one to start off with. I'm just gonna say it.
All right, well, whatever.
Fish sickles. Generally, I mean, I don't honestly know
we used to drill live wells.
What the
Remember that?
benefits are of doing it other way. Yeah, drill like 6 holes or whatever. Get a little.
That's kind of fun, actually. That's my brother-in-law did that one. Anyways, go ahead.
No, I mean, I don't really know that why. That's just what we've always done.
If there was a catfish over 5 pounds, I'd bleed it.
Really?
Cut his tail off when I get home because they'll live forever. But cut his tail off and bleed it. You get all that red meat out. The red.
What's
the
cutting
blood.
the tail off? That bleeds it? That's essentially bleeding it?
I assume cutting the tail off means cutting the tail off.
Yeah, you cut his tail off.
Why? Is what I was saying. Son. Anyway.
What do you do for
It'll bleed it dry.
Well, I know what you do, but you want to share to them what you do.
Yeah, I keep them alive as long as I can. Well, so we're walleye snobs here, right? I don't.
That side.
Yeah,
that table.
Yep.
It's table.
They're also like Packers fans or something.
We should put
signs in front of the table. Snobs and Packers fans. Patriots and
Deflategate. We'll throw
Patriots
it
and Pike
over
right
there.
here.
Over there.
Oh man, this is gonna be fun. So, what I have found the whole concept of bleeding a fish, if you don't know, is to get the blood out of the fillets. What you're gonna be eating, right? Because that's where the fishy flavor comes from. What I do is again try to keep them alive as long as I can, and then once I clean them, you just kind of squeeze that. Like you're squeezing a washcloth or whatever, you can squeeze that blood out. And I don't, if you do
so
that.
So how do you keep them alive on the ice? Do you drill a live well?
No,
he has a bucket.
I got a bucket and I throw some water in there. No, it don't freeze. You'd be surprised how long those. Now, if I'm
maybe
camping, I have found that anything like if you catch a fish and anything more than 10 hours, I don't care how long you that fish sitting in the water, you can tell. So if I do that, I'll clean them right there and throw them in it. That was another thing I was going to ask. I whenever I'm going on the ice, a Ziploc bag and a fillet knife, you should be able to fit anywhere, right? That's just always have that with you, right? So you can clean a fish and then you're good. Now, if you're going to do this, make sure that if you're going to transfer fish in the state of North Dakota, you have to leave the skin on the fillet. A lot of people, and then if you don't, you're gonna get in trouble there. And then also, maybe we should have a cleaning fish video. Not that there's not a million of those online, but if you, so a lot of people when you're cleaning walleye specifically, you take a fillet off. You'll take the skin off, and then I always take the lateral line out, and then so essentially you're left with 2 pieces of meat. Well, if you're transporting that's 2 fillets, right? So if you get pulled over by the Game and Fish, you like if I did that, like I clean them at home, I would technically have 10 pieces of meat that's 5 more than my limit, right? I'm in big trouble. So, anyways, if you are cleaning your fish on the ice, leave the what? The math was right, wasn't it?
You have 5 fish. There's 5
2
fish, 2
fish.
fillets.
Yeah.
So 10 means you'd be at your limit.
You'd be at your limit.
No, you get 5.
If you split each fillet into 2 for each fish,
yeah,
you'd end up with 4 pieces of meat per
You got
fish.
left side and right side.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
You'd
So I'd have 20.
20 pieces.
20
of meat.
20 pieces. I'm way over my
There
limit.
you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
All right.
We're learning.
We're learning.
Left and right. Let's hold on.
I don't usually get my limit. But anyways, so
He's a
you're
bad fisherman.
make sure you're leaving the skin on the fillets and leave them whole if you're traveling with them. I completely forgot where I was going with that. Oh, so if you're on the ice, the one thing I don't like doing is the fish sickles. Not that it's going to be bad or anything, but when you get home, you have a frozen block of ice that you now have to thaw out. And
That's what bathtubs are for.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and sometimes they start swimming around in there. again.
nice.
You've not done that?
No, I have not done that.
your wife
you got
allows
a
you to
pike
do that?
swimming around in your bathtub?
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
They have this stuff called, cleaner, and
Yeah,
you clean
I
it
know.
out.
Won't they
after.
die after swimming in the water for like a minute?
No.
Why would you ask that question?
They're usually
Gentry?
pretty much dead. They might
I'm legally
swim
allowed to
around a
say
little bit.
that?
If they freeze really fast, sometimes they'll, they might. They've actually gone upright before, though, right? We've had some that actually get upright.
Yeah, I mean they're like lethargic. They're not going to
Well,
be
yeah.
like biting
Yeah.
you or anything, but
I would
I
expect
mean,
a pike to bite.
they hit that slime or whatever just keeps them going long enough that it's like when you thaw them out, a lot of times there's at least a few of them that still have a little bit of
Little
motion
kick
to them.
left to him.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's kind of.
What do you suppose Mom would do if she came home to a bathtub full of pike?
I mean,
I wouldn't want to know.
I'd expect
That
a slap for me and a stern talking to for you.
That's what Don
I
just
probably
said.
Depending on
slap
who
her
brought
too.
it.
Yeah,
Depending on who
I kind of
brought
want to see that actually. That would be cool. But
it.
anyways,
What mom would do if we put
no,
fish in the tub?
no, the just
I can tell you what would happen. I can give you a very detailed description of exactly how those events would go down.
yes, and I would be in big trouble in various stages. So,
Keeping it rolling.
and keep it rolling. Well, here's another one. But so out of the and it's kind of on the same line, but for deer, do you guys hang your like age your deer, or what's your thoughts on that versus deboning in the field and taking it in right away?
Go ahead.
It depends
Right.
on the temperature. Obviously, if it's warm, like if it's not getting down to like fridge temps, usually below 40 at night at least, then we won't debone in the field. We'll usually just quarter in the field and take the scraps, as well, and then bring that stuff back, whether or not it's warm. But as long as it's not getting like 50s, maybe low 50s, okay. But as long as it's not getting pretty warm during the day, we'll hang them for, a week to 10 days generally. That just goes for the quarters, the backstrap, heart, neck meat, rib meat, anything like that. Those are small cuts. Like if they get that, you lose a little bit of meat with that aging process because it oxidizes. It gets like kind of like a purpley like crust on it. So if you do that with those smaller cuts, you're going to lose half of what's there anyway. So yeah, all the little pieces and parts that aren't attached to a bone, we'll do those right away. But yeah, the quarters, we'll just hang them on the bone. And a lot of times it's cold enough in November here that they freeze pretty much solid. So then you can let them hang for, as long as you want to, and you really won't get any more meat loss. But I don't remember if there's like a scientific reason, but I believe we had discussed that either we thought or there was some proof that doing that, even just in that week to 10 days time frame, helps with like the tenderness too.
Yeah, because it starts breaking down.
Because obviously that they do that with like 40-day steaks or whatever, all these different things. But
This
I
is
don't know how
gonna
much
freak
of a difference
everybody
it
out.
makes. But
But
in 7 days,
essentially,
but-
it starts rotting. It starts breaking down. It's not rotting. It's not nasty. It doesn't stink.
Yeah, that's
But
what comes from the
dry
heat.
aging is
What it is.
essentially you're aging it. It's the muscle fibers are breaking down, which makes more tender meat.
Right. I shouldn't say that it's because of the heat, because I saw a clip. I haven't watched the episode, but I saw a clip from like a newer Meat Eater episode. They were in Africa, like I don't remember, some country in Africa.
Yeah.
And this guy's explaining to Steve Ranella about how they dry age the meat. And there's this process. It seems fairly simple, but it's 90 degrees or whatever, and they're hanging it for the same amount of time as we are. And they're like, the biggest thing is just keep the flies off it, because that's what really gets to it. But they have like, I don't remember if there's something they put on it but there are possibilities to hang it when it's warm.
It's warm.
But you need to keep, I think the biggest thing is you need to keep airflow. Like the meat has to stay cool in the sense that like there's air moving around it. If it's sitting in the sun and there's no air in it, that's usually when it'll get bad. But, so that's why, like, other than bears, that's why you're hanging meat in trees, or whatever after, a kill in the woods when you can't pack it out all at night. Another cool tip that I just popped into my head that I've heard but never done, going back to the contractor bags or dry bags, if you have them. If you're in the mountains or wherever and there's a cold water source and you have meat and you don't have a good place to hang it, you can wrap it in that, waterproof vessel, whatever it is, and like tie it underwater overnight and let it sit. So that way it's staying dry, but it's staying cold at the same time. Like if you're in a warmer climate, but like
Makes sense.
Colorado in September, but you're at high elevation. So the water's 50 degrees, 45 degrees, something like that. So I've always wanted to try it. I haven't done it, but that was a idea that came to me. So hopefully somebody will get to try it. But
the idea of it makes sense.
That sounds pretty cool. It's about as manly as it gets.
I'd say
I feel like it'd be really
my
easy for a
thing
bear to
is,
find.
as soon as possible, get it quartered out. I don't care if it's cold or not. That's my thing. They're a lot easier to skin when they're warm. No matter what it is, they're easier to skin when they're warm. And so, get it busted up and get it starting to cool out.
That's what matters. Yeah, cool that meat down, right?
Yeah,
whether you
we've
age it
left
around.
quarters, like shoot a deer in the morning. Let's say it's a warmish day, so it's getting up in the 40s or something on the shade side of the pickup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or hang it in a tree where you're getting shade.
Mm-hmm.
Done that before.
But if it was a bear, you want to cool that thing out as fast as possible and get it cut up. If I was hunting feral pigs or something, I'd want to cool it out as fast as possible and get it cut up, because even domestic hogs, you don't age them. As soon as you get the body temp out, you're cutting them up. So you butcher them one day, cut them up the next day.
I've heard the same about antelope and mountain lion as well. Like meat care and timing is very, very quick, very important. Like be quick with it. So
I wonder if, like
haven't done it.
We've talked about this. Our antelope season here is like September, right? So usually,
October.
yeah.
Well, I think the archery is in September.
Yeah, I know the rifle season.
Rifle's in October.
Later.
Yeah, because I shot mine.
I
in
still
October.
haven't pulled one of those yet. But anyways,
one first.
so that would be
Not
the
to
same
brag.
thing. So if you could,
It was a doe.
Yeah, it was a
I'm
doe.
not.
Doesn't matter.
Hey,
yeah.
I've been applying for a buck ever since. I have 6 preference points, and I haven't
There
gotten
you
one
go.
yet. So
But
anyways,
I would wonder if say you could shoot an antelope in November,
Mhm.
To your point, still cut that thing up right now.
Yeah, I think some of it has to do with the fact that generally people are hunting them when it's warmer, because their rut is in like, I think mid to late September. I think it's a little bit. I want to say it's a little bit after the elk rut generally, but around the same time. So a lot of people are hunting that September where it's hot, out in the open plains and stuff. So I'd say that's probably part of it. I'd say you definitely have, with anything, you have more time, more of a buffer if it's colder.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say just because I haven't done it, if I had done it and like said, okay, you can get away with this and that, whatever, that's one thing. But because I haven't done it, I would say just no matter what, from what I've heard,
Do it right away.
Everybody
Get it
I've
on
talked
ice.
to says as soon as it bounces, you
Yeah.
need to be peeling the hide off and getting it cooled out.
Right.
All right. So here's do you
didn't
guys
share what you like to do with your deer?
It's true.
Oh, I
Eat it.
Yeah, eat it. I love consuming it right there on the spot. Just no, you know, we take the quarters, and honestly, it's really more of a. I don't have a great place to hang it that, you know, that mice aren't going to get to it or anything like that. So we're, you know, I just debone it same day, or well, not same day, but as soon as it's cooled down, we're deboning it and throw it in Ziploc bags and get it froze. And well, what's your preference?
So I've done both. I've quartered it and taken it out. For me, it basically depends on like what the situation is. If it's like, if you shoot one at like last light and you're, you know, 2 miles into this pasture ground, whatever it is, it'll probably be easier to just quarter it that night and take it out. If you shoot one like morning, and you have the convenience to like either you can drive in or it's a short drag or, you know, whatever it is, I would say I prefer to hang it just out of convenience, I guess. It's a lot easier. I feel it's easier. Well, I shouldn't say easier. I'd say it's definitely more comfortable, I guess, to work on it when it's hanging than when it's on the ground.
Yeah, we have gotten spoiled over the and I would agree with you. It's just, you know, and I think there's a lot of people around that, you know, if you're hunting ground that's yours, or, you know, you got 4-wheelers and that stuff, right? It's just, you know, gut it and throw that thing. You know, some people, well, I mean, shoot, the first 4 or 5 deers that I ever had, we were, that was an hour, not even that. It was probably 20 minutes from a 4-wheeler. So we just loaded it up, took it back, and hung in the tractor. And I don't know, there's something about that backpack out. You know, you got that pack full of meat. I don't know. I'm a fan of that. It's anyways, doing the game bags and all that stuff. It's
rewarding.
That, and then you're and this is one thing I wanted to talk to you about. So what do you do with the gut pile? Right? Are you and
I shared what I do already.
Yeah.
We remember this.
So, and you know, this is kind
I'm
of
not sure what he's talking about, but I know what I'm thinking. Anyway, go ahead.
It's a previous episode.
Does it involve the police?
No? What? What?
Oh, I know what you're
I just realized I know what he's talking about.
What's going on right now?
we are going to tell that story again someday.
That'll get shared someday.
Yeah.
For the 18 people watching this, we're not trying to leave you out.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do it when I bring
Probably
one of the
4
friends.
of them already know the story, so.
When I bring one of my friends out on this someday, we'll tell it then.
There you go.
I love it.
We'll get everyone's side of the story. Anyways.
What do you do with the gut pile?
Yeah. What's your thoughts on, you know, we'll call it ethics on it. Say, okay, so I'll put you in a situation. You're public ground. You shoot a deer. What are you doing?
Well, we do the gutless method, so it's staying right there.
Yeah. That's what we do too. So.
Sometimes.
Why wouldn't you do that?
I agree, but you know, like, here's the thing. I'm wondering that, you know, like, if you come over, say you got an amazing piece of ground, and all of a sudden there's like 4 carcasses within. I gotta imagine after a while somebody'd be like, "Come on!" But I mean, I'd be hypocritical if I said I didn't do that, because I'm not hauling a gut pile 2 miles to my vehicle, right? That's not happening. So
no way.
I think my thing would be is if you're hunting a piece of ground where there's a collected 4 carcasses and you haven't killed a deer yet, you got to be doing something wrong.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I bring this up, and me, you know, we talked about getting ladies on the show. Oh, there's for Kurt. There's my alarm for 9 p.m. Well, he made us do that. Yeah, anyways, so I was fishing with my daughter at the tail race, and she has a nose like a bloodhound. Like, we pulled up, it's still in the truck, and all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, Dad, what is that smell?" And I'm like, "I don't smell anything. What are you talking about?" And for some reason this year, it was like it was everybody, and I'm not condoning this, and I know, and I was frustrated with this, but everybody that caught a catfish, they didn't throw it back, they just threw it on the rocks. And so you got out, and it was, oh my, like, it was horrible.
I thought you were talking about the goose. 'Cause that was there all summer.
Well, yeah,
that was
there
bad.
Yeah,
There's a bird flu goose that died like right next to the lake.
Yeah,
edges.
there's a mixture of smells there, but that's one thing. Don't do that. Let them go or keep them, but don't be just throwing your fish in the rocks and letting them rot there. That's a bummer. Don't be doing that. And say, and the other thing about that area is there's a fish cleaning station on your way out, right? So anyways, that's definitely one of those scenarios. There's no reason to be leaving your fish right there. I mean, you're quite literally driving by one of the most efficient ways to clean a fish.
Oh, and catfish taste pretty good too, so
Yeah.
I don't get why everybody's wasting them.
I know you
But
guys.
Maybe people up here don't think that. Maybe it's more of a southern thing to do catfish.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If it's not a walleye, they're not eating it.
Yeah. I'm gonna change
I've eaten
that.
cat before.
Yeah.
I've eaten catfish before. I've eaten bluegill. I've eaten pike. I'd say I've eaten carp before. I've eaten gar. I've eaten a large amount of fish species from these waters. But I'm never gonna kill a catfish or a pike or a carp or whatever it is, unless I'm bow fishing carp, I guess. But I'm never gonna catch one and then just throw it on a rock or whatever. I think that's just wasteful. Obviously, if you're gonna keep the fish, keep it. I don't keep certain fish out of preference. You guys are a lot more lenient, I'd say, with what you guys keep, which just means you have better taste buds, I guess. I don't know.
I think we do need to shift the gear on the catfish, because especially in the spring, man, that's like
Them little
everyone-
2-pounders.
yeah. And you
good.
could have been. I mean, God, you could eat for years.
You've been talking about a fish fry.
I know.
That's like
I
the
know.
classic fish fry
Yeah.
food is fried catfish.
We'll supply only walleye. We don't do that here.
No,
this
after this
We'll splice
fall,
walleye sometime and see what they think about it.
I've had some amazing catfish. Because I honestly don't know why.
We'll sneak some catfish into their walleye plate, and people will be like, "Man, this is better than usual."
I got
some-
kidding.
It's got some girth to it.
Dang, you kept a big walleye. I mean, this is.
See, here's the thing, though. We don't discriminate. If we catch walleye, we're going to keep them.
Oh yeah,
As
they're fantastic.
As any sane person should.
Yeah.
But if we catch nice northerns or cats,
They
we're
also
going to
taste
keep
good.
them.
Do you guys have like a length limit for pike that you keep? Because obviously for walleye, I feel like everyone has that line.
It depends on the fish. You can have a 28-inch fish that's,
a snake.
like
Yeah.
this.
So you
or
just judge it
can
off
have,
like the diameter.
I mean, yeah, I mean, we won't probably ever keep anything below like 25.
Is there like a maximum that you'll go like 45 or something?
If we catch a giant, like I would consider that a giant. I mean, we're gonna put fish back.
Yeah, if you catch a
probably,
45, dang.
Yeah.
That's
I just threw a number out.
Yeah.
But like,
That's big.
But yeah, I mean, we've kept
We ate 44
30s,
though.
and we did keep. No, I think it was 42. But yeah, either way,
trying to make it sound
Whatever
better
it
for the
was.
camera.
Yeah.
I
Well,
have
I mean,
a picture of it.
it's
later.
legal.
it was a long time ago. I
Yeah.
very well.
That's
could
a
be
nice
wrong.
fish. Like that's good job.
But
That was the last fish of the day, too.
it was a good day. What were
That's
we
where
talking
we
about?
keep wanting to take them, but they
Keeping-
won't.
Well, that's it. Go ahead. Ask your
Oh
question.
yeah, fish on the rocks.
Upper-
got it.
I was trying to remind. Well, even before that, I think we were talking about gut piles.
Yes.
Yes, that's where that. Yeah,
Mm.
good catch. That's good.
All the way.
Well, we know Gentry just hunts them, so
Yeah.
if it's on like. Okay.
that's what he does with his guy. He strategically places it next to the. There's a fence post up there where he can rest the spotlight,
Yeah.
and
Oh
just
no,
kidding.
not a spotlight. Whoa.
No, the thermals on the scope. Or,
I'm not
you know.
rich enough for a thermal. I'll tell you right now.
No, that's all right. Yeah, I mean, I think you just got to use your judgment. I mean, 9 times out of 10 where we hunt, like, it's not going to affect anything. You're just feeding the coyotes and the magpies and,
Yep.
whatever else. But, if you're in a place where there's a parking area or you're archery hunting,
In an urban setting.
you shoot something, even if it's not urban, you shoot something near some infrastructure like a trailhead, like the deer runs off and dies and it's 20 yards from the truck and you're parked in this little fenced off grout,
Yeah.
something like that. Like, yeah, you should probably get the thing off the trail a little bit, just out of respect for the fact that, assuming it's public land. But I mean, if it's private and the guy's like, I don't care if the gut pile's, in my backyard or then whatever, But, yeah, I would say just, use your judgment. If you're out in the middle of nowhere, like, probably don't worry about it. But if you're near, roads, if your deer drops next to a stock tank and you're in a cattle pasture, probably drag the thing away a little
Get
bit,
it out of there.
kind of thing like that. But
Gentry asked actually a good question. That was when I was talking to Mom about this the other day. So maybe this is a different episode, but your upper and lower limit for
Oh yeah.
for
I just said that.
for walleye, we'll say, or really any species that you have.
Well, I already got their pike out of the way. Do you guys have a limit for catfish? I guess
What
everyone
kind
has.
of
like
catfish?
what's too small
Channel
for
cats.
for channel cats? Yeah.
Oh, pound
You got a maximum, or do you just?
cats, yes.
Yeah.
But it depends on what they're coming out of.
River.
When we lived in Missouri,
Specifically, the river.
cold water or warm water.
Well, I'd say the river's generally
If it was
cold.
a flathead, it wouldn't matter. If it was a blue cat, it wouldn't matter.
But you say channel cats taste different
But
based
if
off their environment.
Channel cats in the summertime typically end up on mud flats and stuff like that, and they'll
Mhm.
start tasting like what they're
mud.
residing in. So, but if it's cold water, like, where you took me, it's cold water year round, I'd keep them all year round. And I mean, I don't know.
It's okay if you don't
I'm
know.
not going
It's
to be
just a
that
question.
fussy.
Right.
It's meat.
You look at it and you say, that'd look good in a pan, and just keep it. I think
Yeah,
walleye, I would say for us, is probably like 15 to 25. About 25,
Mm.
maybe a little high. But yeah, that 20 range is usually like that's like prime eating fish for us. But
Yeah, they get much over 20, I'd say 22, 23, something like that. They're going back down.
Mm-hmm.
it's 23.1.
Oh.
Gotta throw it back.
Yeah.
my line's 22, and it's like 14's the minimum.
Sure. I've never caught anything 25, so I've never had that problem. I've never caught anything that I would be like, that's too big to keep.
If we ever end up doing the ice fishing episode,
We could.
We'll make
they're
our
they're
attempt.
still biting on Audubon. We need to make that.
Really?
It's gonna
Yeah,
be 50 degrees
they're-
outside.
I had a friend who
Let's
went
just
there
tell
the
the
other
public.
day and said that they caught 3 fish total.
The whole time he didn't.
Well, my buddy that was there last week he kept 3 fish, I think,
Okay.
over 3 days. And then one of my coworkers went there this past weekend, and I think he said he kept 3.
No
but they were
kidding.
only there for like one evening.
Okay.
He said it was okay, but they're fishing different parts of the water. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a big.
And it probably is slowing. I think the update I got was from the weekend before.
I hope
It
this
was
warm
going
weather
really
would help.
Yeah.
I mean, 50 degrees for a couple days, it could maybe stir things up a little bit. but-
Oxygen levels got to be dropping. I mean, we're in the dead of winter.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. The ice is like 2 feet thick. So yeah. Whether if you get
don't
some
have
flows,
snowpack,
but-
though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's going to help.
Yeah.
I'm
But
gonna
pike
lose some
seem to
ice.
bite most of the time.
Correct.
Always circling back to the pike
Mhm.
with these.
They're fun.
With that,
I
I'm
want
not-
to.
I'm
I
not
like
saying
a
pike are
fish
not
that
fun.
fights back.
And catching fish.
You don't think you can catch walleye consistently?
No, absolutely not.
Not listening to you guys.
If I
Wow. He just doesn't know. He just
that was a
doesn't
good
know.
dig. That was good. That was good.
I'm not saying pike aren't a fun fish to catch. I love catching, pike, bass.
you
whatever
don't
it is.
have to. You're the one that's carrying it on.
You just insulted or I guess the group's walleye abilities.
Yeah.
Packers fans.
Yeah, the judgment just kind of takes a hit there when you're rooting for them. You said yourself, if it's not the new year if the Packers are out of football.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Here we go.
It's been a bad decade, but actually the Gentry's first. Well, it wasn't your birthday, but you weren't even born yet. That was the almost undefeated season. Well, let's not go there.
The year they won
Almost.
the Super Bowl, I was born.
Yeah,
well,
correct.
that
And then
that
the next
season.
year they were making the decision whether or not to pull the starters. They were they were I don't know, they were like 11-0, and it was like maybe. And anyways,
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, this
swing it
week
back.
we're starting a sports segment on Watch and Wild.
We could do
Start
a
to
5.
finish,
Yeah.
go Pats. And
2010.
I'm not going to talk any smack until they win on Sunday.
until
I am
then.
rooting for the Patriots. I will.
Thank you.
Why would you do
Thank
that?
you.
Because I know Seahawks fans and they're annoying.
You're not
I don't know
wrong.
any Patriots
Yeah.
fans other than these
Well,
two.
yeah, I can't go for the Seahawks. I just realized that right now.
Thank you.
Too many
can't do it.
horrible
So
things.
Sam
do you
Darnold's gonna
have
choke.
more questions?
I do. I feel like I do.
Calling it right
I did
now.
go through.
Sam Darnold choking in the Super Bowl.
Well, okay, so this is, I don't know. You don't always have access to these, but what do you guys think about fish cleaning station versus cleaning at home? Are you flying right by them, or are you?
I'd go
you
to
like
a
at home?
fish cleaning station if there was one available. Otherwise, they get cleaned at home.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a thing for a long time.
I've only ever seen one.
Me-
And it's
me
Until we
too,
moved
for
right by
here.
the tail race.
For
Yeah.
me, it was a tailgate of a pickup. That
Yep.
was generally a fish cleaning station. Um,
That might be the.
but they have,
Title of the
they got
episode.
these nice little huts with
Yeah.
like the hoses and the. Yeah, I've never actually
And the
used one because
grinders
I
and
don't
all the
really
things.
ever catch fish. But I would use one
Do you
if
think
I
we
brought
get,
my stuff.
we get Raimu back here and we go catch?
Oh,
those
he's already
catfish again?
asking.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was fun. I've never seen somebody eat that much food in my life.
Yeah, that kid, he can put away food.
What,
There's
what
no
are we
doubt about
talking
that.
about?
Raimu is a
Yeah.
foreign exchange student from Japan that stayed with us a
think
few
I
years
remember.
ago, and now
Was
he's
that?
back playing basketball at Dickinson State. And so we took him, your dad and I took him fishing. He and another foreign exchange student from Taiwan. The most horrible fishing ever.
Yes.
I think I remember this actually, because that was he there when I dropped you that bucket of catfish, or am I thinking of
Well,
somebody else?
That was
Because
this
there was
year,
one
but
night
it
where
was
I was
different
up,
story.
I was up there and I just dropped you like 10 catfish in a bucket.
Yeah, he wasn't there for
Okay,
that.
I'm thinking of someone else.
But anyway, he's ate up with it. So, and he and Angela are as patient as anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, they stuck with it.
Correct.
It was cold. There was
We were
absolutely nothing biting.
And there was so much snow. That was like, oh man, that was. I mean, we when we drove, it was alkaline. We drove in there, and there, you could. The only way they kept that road open was a payloader, and I mean, it was like 6-foot drifts to the point where they were as high or if not higher than the pickup.
Well, they were higher because remember I took the picture.
Yeah,
of them
that's right.
standing there, and
Yeah.
it's like 2 times taller than they are.
Yeah, that was a great day. Well, the fishing was terrible, but
They had fun drilling
yeah.
holes. And
All right, I got a thing we
Wait.
could do with involving like cleaning and stuff.
Yeah.
For birds, and this could like pheasants, grouse, ducks, whatever. Do you keep the whole bird or just breast them? This could be for anybody in the room.
This is actually a controversial topic because I
know.
believe in Montana, it's wanton waste if you only breast
If
out
you don't
the
keep
bird.
the whole bird,
Yeah.
really?
You have to keep certain parts. I don't know if it's the same for every bird, but like turkeys, for example, you have to keep like, I believe it's legs, thighs, breasts. And if you dispose of any of that, then you will get in trouble, or you can get
Turkeys,
in trouble.
I could see why that'd be a law. Because if you just
Yeah.
breast a turkey, I mean, like, what?
But I mean,
But-
I don't know if it's completely choice. I would say, it's always good to use as much as you can. But some birds, there's just not a lot to them,
Mhm.
So, it's. I mean, I wouldn't like give somebody grief if they're like, I'm not going to eat my pheasant drumsticks.
Yeah.
'cause they're just-
Oh,
you kind of got to like
Sinews.
slow cook them.
I've had them before. It is the stringiest, like.
Yeah, they're stringy, dry. You got to like slow.
You have
cook
to be
'em
an
or something
artist
'cause
with
they
cooking
just
to
don't.
make them taste good.
So I mean, I'm not going to give somebody grief for that personally, but yeah, I mean, if you throw one on the rotisserie or whatever, you could do like grouse or something like that. You could do that if you wanted.
Mhm.
Matt?
most ducks and upland birds, I'm going to just breast them. If it's a speckle belly, I'm plucking it.
You think speckle belly's that good? Really?
The only thing better is sandhill crane.
I've never had that.
They call it ribeye of the
I don't
sky
know
for a
that-
reason.
I don't
I
know that I've
found-
ever had speck. Have I?
Yes.
It's
Oh.
good. I like it better than most ducks.
I've shot at a couple and missed. But-
It's good meat. I like it.
Is that what you made? No, that was ducks that you made. for
I
us,
made
right?
some speck in
Yeah.
there too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I
Ooh.
did it like 3 different times. I made speck in one of them.
We've kept whole quail. We used to quail hunt a lot in Missouri.
Is that like do they kind of like function like a partridge, where they just like, do they run on the ground at all after you like flush initially?
If it's warm, they will run a little bit. It's kind of hard on the dogs,
Mhm.
but normally, normal weather conditions, they'll covey up and hold real tight. Shoot them, shoot the covey rise. They'll scatter out, and then you start hunting singles if there's enough in the.
So
Like
they're
if
not-
there wasn't 10 or more birds in the covey, then you just typically walk away.
So you just get them up initially to split them up.
Shoot the
then-
covey rise and then walk away. But if there's 20 birds, start picking the singles
So you
because
just watch
they
them.
won't go very far. Huns are different. Huns run like pheasants.
Hungarian partridge?
Yeah, they hit the ground and they take off.
I've never seen that. I've hunted partridge where I've got them up. I've watched where they land. I walk over there and they're in the same spot, and I'll do that 3 times over. Maybe I'm just like,
Super
yeah,
stealthy.
we just did that. We just did that this year. That was
Yeah.
one of the coolest.
I've
Anyways.
never seen them run more than like probably 5 yards.
I mean, not the you always find 1 or 2 there. You're not finding the whole flock there where we're landing. But anyways, that's
We chased them around out here a couple of times, and they fly and go down, and dogs chasing.
see, we don't hunt with dogs because someone doesn't like getting dogs.
oh come on.
I jump
It's-
in the brush like a.
Don't make me cry. Those
He
them-
already has.
Man,
he
I
has
love
dogs.
I
It's
love
good, you
dogs.
guys.
Yeah,
he
exactly.
just gives a whistle
Yeah.
and you just start running
Yeah.
through the brush.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
I don't dive in the
No,
brush
that's
anymore.
me going through the brush.
Yeah, we've switched now. I dove in the brush with when I was like 8 with a pellet gun looking for rabbits. Now he does it because I am a better shot.
I'm not sure that happened, but anyways, I'm just yeah.
He accepts that I'm a better shot than him. He knows it.
Hey,
If we were talking about the number of rounds through a shotgun versus how many critters you bring.
Okay, well
home.
you didn't hunt any waterfowl this year, so I don't feel like that's an accurate representation.
All right, now we're.
What do you
yeah.
what do you do for your birds? We'll go down the line. Do you just breast them?
I'm just breasting them out. Yeah. I mean, there are times I've, every once in a while I like to, if you get a pheasant that it doesn't all shot up and, it's plucking, it's kind of a pain. My father-in-law, he would we would have to hide it. I mean, if you didn't breast a bird out, you shot a bird out at the farm, it was like, what are you doing? You're not breasting, it was that was his big thing. Like, anyways, we made sure to get him, take the whole bird when we were out there.
If it was easy to keep the skin on them, they'd be phenomenal on rotisserie.
Yeah.
It's a tough bird to work with when it's
we'll
not
just have
just
to
the
take
rest.
them home and treat them like a chicken. Get some hot water and scald them and pluck them that way. See if it
I
works.
have to make another whiz bang chicken plucker.
Well, if you're only
What?
doing one here and there, a few here and there, then you could just throw on the rubber gloves and do it pretty fast. That's a whole that could be an episode in and of itself.
Is
That
what-
was
how
a
to-
journey.
How to clean?
We built
chickens?
a chicken plucker. I shouldn't say we. Him and his buddy built a chicken plucker based on like this kit, like instructions essentially you could buy online, and the thing was incredible.
Whiz
Like-
bang
And
chicken plucker.
you called it
That
a
was
whiz
the
bang.
brand.
A
The
whiz
brand
bang.
of
Uh-uh.
like the instructions or whatever, like the form for it was whiz bang.
Can you give us the basics of what this?
It was
Contraption.
basically half of a 55-gallon drum,
Mm-hmm.
and it had like what they used like cutting board material, like that hard plastic kind of material on the
Yep.
bottom, and then all around the sides of the drum and the bottom, you drill in holes and put in little rubber, like real stiff rubber fingers that were like 4 inches long, and then there's a motor on the bottom and a bearing that spins that bottom piece, and there's a little like 1/2-inch gap all the way around the outside of the rotating piece.
Mm-hmm.
So you drop the chicken in, you turn the thing on, and you spray it with water after you scald it. And all those rubber fingers just pull every feather off the chicken. And the water and the spinning pushes all the feathers out to the sides. And since there's that
Oh,
crack
the
around
whole
the
thing
outside,
spins.
the bottom
Just the
spins.
bottom.
Just the
Just-
bottom, not the
okay.
whole.
The
drum.
bottom spins,
Spins.
but since the water's pushing all the feathers out and down, and then that thing's spinning, pushing the feathers out to the
Yeah.
sides, they get out to the edge, and then they hit that crack in between the spinning part and the sides of the drum, and they just wash out the bottom. So once in a while, you got to clear the feathers out. I'm sure there's YouTube videos of it. I
Yeah.
think we did a chicken in 8 seconds one time. We
Really?
did 2 chickens in like 12 seconds. like throwing
That's
them in at the
amazing.
same. Oh my gosh, it was literally life changing. when you're doing 200 plus chickens,
Yeah.
butchering. Like, granted, not that that's a huge operation, but when you got, a guy and his wife and a couple of kids and some friends from church that
Never done it before.
May or may not know what they're
pretty
doing.
much everybody there had never done it before, or it had only just started. I mean, it was unbelievable. It was awesome.
Sounds interesting.
I
It looked like Frank
can't picture
Purdue
what you
did them.
just said.
They were fantastic. There's probably a YouTube video
Yeah.
of somebody who's made a similar one. But yeah, this thing worked like a charm. We did turkeys in it, whole turkeys. We did
Yeah,
ducks.
but you had to kind of help
The bigger
turkey
ones.
around.
Yeah. they wouldn't spin quite so well. But
It'd do about 3 ducks and they'd be beautiful, and then you start getting the fat and the grease on the fingers, and then it wouldn't
Gum
do
it up.
such a great job. But yeah,
I should pluck my ducks. I don't, but I should. Everyone who's not like a teenager and puts effort into like cooking tells me to pluck them and keep the skin on them and do them whole.
they're fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
I just breast them and put them in like noodles or something.
get you a little Ronco rotisserie or something, put it in there, put a
Mm.
pear in there and an onion and salt,
Best-
pepper, garlic on the outside, and
Smoker
it'll
on
make
those
you
things.
slap.
Mhm.
I
Best-
can't say that.
Best poultry there is, in my opinion,
It's duck.
is a
Swallow your
whole.
tongue.
But I mean,
Really?
I've had more domestic duck whole, but like,
Yeah.
domestic duck whole on the rotisserie or whatever. I mean, it's
Oh yeah,
best
domestic
poultry
duck.
there
Domestic
is.
duck is good, and obviously wild duck tastes.
But
That's
before
one of the few
Wild
things.
wild duck tastes.
we're
different.
we're almost at the end. You had
Go
some
ahead.
scripture you were going to share.
Oh yeah,
That's-
sure.
I'm
Did you have
almo-
any more questions?
No, those
Okay.
those were it.
Burn them out.
I'm plumb
We talked
plumb
about
out.
football and
Yeah, and then some.
Yeah, there's a lot of ground covered there. But looping back to what we began at with the blood, faith, hunting, all of that, and the way that it kind of runs together. Obviously, one thing that we haven't mentioned that I think is big in the church, in Christianity as a whole, is the blood with communion.
Oh,
So, that is in its substance, it is wine,
mm.
and then along with, the wafer, the unleavened bread. And I think that it's obviously, something that the church, whatever church you go to, if you do it, comes together on very significantly. It's a big deal. I just wanted to share a little bit about what I have learned and come to experience with the Catholic Church, because it's a lot different than what I initially had learned. And essentially, the idea is that the communion, the bread and the wine, it goes through this process in the Mass, in the church service, basically saying some of the similar scripture that like any other Christian church would say with communion, do this in remembrance of me kind of thing. But there's this process that it goes through. And at the end of that process, it's called transubstantiation, which is essentially changing of the substance. So in the substance is bread and wine, but it becomes the real flesh of Jesus, the real blood of Jesus. Now, if you were to look at it, it still looks like bread, it still looks like wine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that something that's fascinating to me is that idea has taught me a lot about faith, in the sense that, like, it's easy to be like, well, that doesn't make any sense. If I touch it, if I taste it, still bread, still wine. But that's kind of what faith is, in the sense that, like, everything, could be telling you that God's not there. You can't reach out and touch him. You can't, he doesn't have a human body. Like, that was Jesus, and Jesus,
Yep.
ascended, and he's not around anymore in the physical sense. So you can't reach out and touch him. You can't see him. Like, that's, it's something that's there, that you believe is there, even though you can't, taste, touch, or see it. And, I think that it's not as much, it's not a huge leap to say that, if God is there, then why can't that be true, with that process in the Catholic Church. I think that, for the most part, it's regarded as symbolism, in a lot of churches. like this is symbolic of the body and symbolic of the blood, which is true. I mean, because if you go off of what I said with that process that happens during the Mass, if you don't do that process, then it is a symbol, right? So both sides are true in the sense that one, Catholic, it is the true body and blood. The other, it's a symbol. That's kind of what I'm getting at. But the scripture I wanted to mention, which no matter what you believe, no matter what church you go to, I think is, in my opinion, probably the most important like chapter in the whole Bible, other than the actual like crucifixion, is John 6. And basically, for context, what's happening is Jesus just fed the 5,000. Later that evening, he is, crosses, I think it's the Sea of Galilee, walking on water. And so, I mean, it's a pretty good day for him, And the next day, the people come to him, like the 5,000, presumably, a whole pile of people, crowds of people come to him. And he says right away, he's like, I know you're not coming because you believe of who I am. You're coming for more food, essentially. And which, if he just made two fish and 5 loaves into enough food for 5,000 people, like,
why wouldn't they?
Why wouldn't you go, ask again? But basically he said, like, in summary, he's not feeding them again. And he said, the bread that you should really be searching for is the bread of life that comes from my Father in heaven. And I'm not exact quoting these verses, but, and then he says, the bread that I will give you is my flesh. I am the bread that came down from heaven. And the people, there's a mixture of people. So there's the apostles, the 12. There's the disciples, which are various people that kind of followed the apostles, or followed Jesus like the apostles. They kind of gave up their families, their lives, and followed Jesus. And then there's this giant mass of people, the crowd, which is mostly Jewish people. And so all these people are like, how can this man give us his flesh to eat? Like, this doesn't make any sense, like this is going against like Mosaic laws, like you can't eat flesh, all this kind of stuff, or human flesh. And so he says essentially 5 times in different ways, he kind of reinforces this, that his body is his flesh is the bread of life. He says, unless you can eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, you will not be with me. Whoever eats my flesh and drinks my blood, you will not, or you will be with me with eternal life. I just wrote the beginnings of these, but for my flesh is true food and my blood is true drink. And then whoever eats my flesh and drinks my blood again. And then lastly, he says, the one who feeds on me will have life because of me. So I just think that that's a profound way of like, I mean, the crowd of people, the Jews, and most of the disciples, they walked away from him after this. Like, he's telling them this, and they're like, this guy's nuts.
This guy's nuts,
he's crazy. We got to get out of here, And as far as I'm aware, that is the only time in Jesus's life where people that were following him actually walked away from him because of his teaching. And he didn't turn around and say, wait, no, like, I'm going to change it. I'm going to make it easier. I'm going to make it,
make it make more sense.
I'm going to make it sound like it's just, it's just for pretend or whatever. Like, he was saying, this is it. I'm doubling down. I'm tripling down again and again and again. And he looks at the apostles after all these people leave and he says, are you guys going to leave too? And he wasn't going to sugarcoat it, And I just think that, number one, is really indicative of Jesus's personality.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it just puts so much importance on, like, that's why communion, and for me, the Eucharist, is so important in church, in Christianity, because that is the resurrection, in the sense that, like, that all ties together. That was his sacrifice, his body and his blood on the cross. Anyway, so yeah, these people walked away from him. The apostles didn't. They stuck around. They basically said, like, we realize you're the one.
You're the Son of
So
God.
where else are we going to go? So yeah, I mean, that I didn't really have a good way to tie that up, but I think that's just something that I'm really passionate about and I want to share. And I love John 6, like, as a whole.
Yeah.
I think that covers verses like 26 through 68. So, like, that whole chapter is, I mean, just read it end to end. I would recommend, because it changes a lot based on the different versions you look at. Like I shouldn't say a lot. The word choice is very different. But it's either way, I think you kind of get the same message.
The core
overall.
message stays the same.
Which, that's the goal of all the different versions and stuff. And then I had a quote I just wanted to mention. I guess this will wrap up my whole spiel, but an article I was reading earlier today, a quote by a guy named Norman Wurzba, who I'm pretty sure is an author or writer. I didn't actually look him up. But he said in a paper or book, nature is a physical manifestation of God's self-giving love. And that was in the sense of like animals dying to give us life.
Mm-hmm.
Like his creation is still dying in order to
Still
sustain
providing
us.
for us.
So anyway.
I love. Well, I totally agree with you. John is the Gospel of John is my favorite gospel. I mean, they're all awesome, but especially how we talked about this the last chapter in John, how how in Jesus, they're going fishing. Anyway, we talked about that before, but that's such a and then that what you shared there is that's a hard thing. I mean, even you read that and you're like, man. I understand what he's saying, or at least I conceptualize what he's saying and what those people must have thought.
Mm-hmm.
The disciples stuck with him and what a ride that had to have been for him. Where to your point, the days when you stitch those all together, we kind of think of that had to have been months or whatever.
Right.
No, that was
it happened pretty fast. Yeah,
crazy. So
Back to the week.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he's waiting on it. I was just gonna
Mhm.
say something. All right, I got one for this week and one for next week. So, what do you guys? So it's about fishing in North Dakota. Do you guys want to do non-resident? So it's not a percentage. It's license purchase in North Dakota. Do you want to guess non-resident or resident?
Well, now you told us what next week is.
Well, I haven't told you yet. You got to decide. Should we take a vote? All those in favor of non-resident, say aye.
Wait, whether it's more licenses sold to non-resident or
no,
resident?
you just want to know
you
the
wanna
question.
guess the number. So
Yeah.
it'd be like, how many licenses do you think residents of North Dakota bought, and it's fishing licenses, or how many?
So not a percentage.
It's
but
a
actual,
number. It's a
Okay.
number.
Okay. Yeah, let's do residents.
Yeah, I want to do
Residents? 'Kay.
residents. Yeah.
So what number of North Dakota residents
okay,
bought
so
a fishing license?
I
It's
always seem to go
2024.
last, so I'm gonna go first because I always $1 you guys, and I felt that the last couple times.
I'm gonna do it to you.
Yeah, you should. Total number
Yep.
of residents
in North Dakota that buy
purchased
fishing
in
license.
2025.
2024.
2024. Okay.
It's not as old as the last time.
Yeah, exactly.
Data, but
That was
Oh,
like
man.
2021.
Why
Well, it wasn't
why
even
did I say I
bad.
was gonna go first?
Just pick a number.
I know. Well, come on, because I'm gonna be winning.
12.
You're the fishing guy, so it would be really good if you were close.
Oh, I'm gonna go with 43,000.
I'm not gonna give a higher or lower.
Okay. Yeah. You shouldn't.
Yep.
You're up. He said you.
Oh, me?
I get to go last this time.
Yeah.
Yep. He gets to hear all the numbers. 60 plus.
237,000.
Okay.
I'm gonna say 111,111.
Mm.
Okay.
Very
okay.
significant.
He
Yeah.
may have to do math now.
Who do you guys think was the closest?
Well, we
just
all
shot
think
the
each
middle.
other are. I think.
I just shot the middle.
Reyer was the closest. 142,272.
Nice.
Dang.
I won.
Mm-hmm. You win.
We got.
I was only off by 31,000.
That's why we need the whiteboard. So every time I ask a fact of the week, like a trivia, we can
Yeah,
keep
we
a
have a tally. Yeah,
of
there
who
you
gets
go.
it.
So now you're saying I'm not allowed to look at the number of non-resident.
Yeah, we're
licenses
using
sold.
an honor system this week. You can't Google it.
You need to pick something different. for
Yeah,
Kurt.
come on.
What?
Do we need to change this to like trivia of the week?
Well,
I
I'd say
like the questions.
Yeah.
I'd say you're gaining a fact in the trivia.
Oh, absolutely. But I mean, I like the question
Question of the week.
round table kind of.
I did like the fact of that duck that sea duck or whatever that was found.
The
Yeah.
eider.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
king
Yeah,
eider.
that
That
was
was a
cool.
good one.
Kansas.
Yeah.
I suppose for that one I could have done what state was a king eider found in that's in the lower 48. Anyways,
No.
I would have picked a West Coast state
Yeah, no, I mean,
because
I would've-
they're a
oh yeah.
Pacific flyweight bird.
Mhm.
So
All right.
Well, it's you.
All right. Well,
It's your thing, man.
we're this is, I feel like this is getting easier and easier as we go along, and hopefully we keep more of this, the faith aspect of this. I really appreciate it tonight. So thank you guys, and appreciate all the time that we have. I'm not going to say anything about the big game that's coming up here, but I hope you guys enjoy it. And,
we made it to the playoffs. That's all that
yeah,
mattered.
I know. Why did I even bring that up? All right, God
You gonna
bless you
send
all.
us off, or what are we
Yeah,
doing here?
Have a great day. Stay safe. If you're out in the ice, stay above the ice, and appreciate y'all. Tune in next week.
There we go.
Go Pats.